I've already started Mail's route. Like last time we played. This one. Hang on. Let me switch category. I'm no longer just chatting. I'm playing a game. Hi, Klutzy. Cupid. You miss this game / BN? Yeah. So do people watching the VODs on my other channel. I don't know why it is stuck loading. Eight followers. So when I go to sleep while you play this game, reasonable. Sure. Ow. Alright. Where did we finish off? Oh, right. Talking to Isuzu. Hang on, let me go back to the guide. Yes. Alright. Thanks for the hydrate. And the stretch. Drench. Because it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Have a good night, Dexter. Isuzu had probably said that without a second thought. But I wish she'd put herself in my shoes before being so direct like that. I didn't nearly have an honest as personality as hers after all. It's not that big a deal. Hang on. You're welcome. You're starting with dessert? You should probably eat some actual food for dinner first, no? There's meat, salad. Surely it's part of your job as an athlete to maintain a nutritious diet too. Eat the cake first. Some things never change, huh? Smiling wryly, I plated up a bunch of food for Isuzu and handed it to her. Here. What? Feels like you've been thanking me non-stop today. Seeing Isuzu's gentle smile, I felt my heart beat a little fast. And then apparently I talked to Anzu. I forgot. Hang on. Yes. You. No. That's the wrong person. Hang on. Go back. Go back here. Anzu was... And yeah, Ushiro Anzu is you. I wonder what Ushiro Senpai is up to. I wonder what I wonder what Ushiro Senpai is doing. He was gazing around at everyone with a soft smile on his lips. He was watching the rest of us from behind, but he also seemed completely off in his own world. I had no idea that he could be thinking about. Are you having fun, Ushiro Senpai?
Tsumugu-kun.
When I called out to him, he slowly turned to look at me. It kind of pissed me off how cool and composed every single movement of his was.
気遣ってくれてありがとう。とても楽しいよ。
I mean, that's how it is when you're an angel.
この町で暮らしている君たちが羨ましくてたまらないくらいだ。
What are you talking about? You go to our school too, and you're even working with us now.
つむぐくんは僕を仲間だと思ってくれているのかい？
Well, I suppose we have the same school and workplace after all. Plus, it seems as though you've been a big help at the restaurant from now on too. You'll be a big help at the restaurant from now on too. So, although I hated to admit it, Ushiro Senpai was an extremely capable worker.
ありがとう。エイル君が君に懐いている理由がわかる気がするよ。
Huh? Again, I had to wonder why he always had to bring up Ale whenever I talk to him. By the way, Senpai.
僕の話より君の話が聞きたいな。
Uh-huh. He gently interrupted me. There's not much to say, really.
本当にそうかな。
That smile of his was utterly inscrutable.
僕に構うより他の人と話した方がいいんじゃないかな。
Alright. Well, I'm gonna go refill my drink. Unable to think of anything else to say, I decided to leave him alone. Ushiro Senpai. I really couldn't get a grasp on him at all. And then Love me, Ale. You having fun, Ale? What? Something was clearly wrong with her. Don't tell me you've been drinking. So you've been drinking. Right. In other words, she'd gotten drunk off the fumes alone. How much of a lightweight can you be?
こらこら、今エイル君は学生なんだからお酒は飲んじゃダメだよ。
飲んでませんってば。ワインの香りで酔っちゃったんです。
なるほど。まさに天使の分け前だね。
Huh? You should have Senpai smiled with amusement. Angel share?
ワインはな、熟成中に水分やアルコール分が蒸発して少し目減りするんだよ。それを天使の分け前って呼ぶんだ。
It's also a tavern it's also the name of a tavern in Mondstadt.
シャレたこと知ってるじゃねえか、アンジュン。
Where was your pretty sophisticated?
シャレたこと知ってるじゃねえか、アンジュン。
There was none.
お褒めに預かり光栄ですよ。
I was beginning to think he wasn't such a bad guy, but there's just something about him that rubs me the wrong way after all.
つむぐさん。
I felt a tug at my sleeve. What do you want, drunkie?
つむぐさんにはいいとこいっぱいありますよ。漫画に詳しいですし、漫画いっぱい 持ってますし、一緒に漫画買いに行ってくれるし。
It's the fact he ate human, maybe. Yeah, but he doesn't know that. Everyone who plays the game knows that Anju was definitely an angel. But you know, that's metagaming. Manga's the only thing I'm good for, huh?
それだけじゃないですよ。私ね、とっても優しいところ、とっても素敵だと思います。
Yeah, like how you've been freeloading in my house every day. You know.
これからも優しくしてくださいね。
Gay. Seeing that goofy smile on Elle's face, I couldn't bring myself to brush her off. If I feel like it. The most I could manage was... Wait. The most I could manage was to do mutter brusquely at Ale fawned as Ale fawned all over me. Right. And then with that celebration in full swing. This is green, which means I can skip it. Until the next choice. Which is... Should I save it? Yes. Save it here.
上書きしちゃいますよ。いいですね。
No. Save it
上
here.
書きしちゃいますよ。ちゃんとセーブしました。
I guess. I mean, it's actually, it doesn't really matter. Anyway. Let me, start the Ales round. Several minutes later. I heaved a heavy sigh as I lay soaking in the tub. Reason being,
何ぼさっとしてるんですか。さっさと書いてくださいよ。ほらほらほら。
I heard you, okay? Stop pushing me. But you know, it's just...
まさかこの後に及んでまだ一人に絞れないって言うんですか。
No, that's not it. If anything, there was only one person whose name popped into my head the moment I thought about it. And that person was the girl standing in front of me. Ah! Oh, okay. Abuse me and then give me head pats.
何ですか、つむぐさん。
Nothing, It just takes a lot of courage to write someone's name in the love note when they're standing right in front of you, okay? That being the case, I need to take a bath first.
はあ、なんでですか。その前にちゃちゃっとノートに名前書いてくださいよ。
That's the thing, I need to cleanse myself before I officially make my decision, right? Consider it catching Pokemon.
なるほど、みそぎ的なことですね。
Yeah, I need to change the sound of the bonk. Exactly. So anyway, I'll be right back so that I can do this properly.
その真剣さや大変よしです。頑張って体を清めてきてください。
Right. Yeah, that's the reason. And so we are here. And so here we are. It really was just like Love Miel to get fooled by such a stupid excuse. Still, if I was to pick someone's name to write, I honestly can't think of anyone else but hers. She was kind of an idiot and annoying, as well as the main source of all my problems right now. But even so, before I realized it, after all this time we'd spent together, I began to find myself thinking only about her. In short, I had feelings for Love Miel as a woman. I had no choice but to admit it. That's why I was stalling for time right now, as my heart secretly pounded in my chest. After all, once I write her name down in the love note, her fadeness is going to tell me exactly how she feels about me. After gauging that a suitable amount of time had passed, I returned to my room after drying my hair. However, this is the perfect time to write her name in the love note. I was lying face down on my bed, fast asleep, limping, holding a manga in one hand. You know what? I relate to that. There have been times I've passed out while reading a manhwa, like on the computer. I'm not proud of those times, but however, I'm not surprised. Somehow I'm not surprised. As I laughed to myself, I felt as though I'd given in a way. Well, anyway, this solved my problem rather neatly. I told you, he's gonna write her name in the book. Now where's the love note? Moving quietly as to not wake up Ale, I fished the notebook out of my drawer and scribbled her name down. I hesitated for a second, unsure whether to write Love Me Ale or Ale Koi Me. But since she was in her human form right now, I've decided to go with the latter. Soon words began to appear on the page.
恋にエイル運命度72
Yikes, only 72? 72? Ah, shit, you gotta wake her up. The number had gone up a surprising amount. I don't remember what number, Uta was at, but, I feel like it was higher than 72. Actually, maybe not. Didn't this mean we were almost a couple? She'd once told me that a fatiness of 80 was tantamount to being lovers after all. I had no idea she felt that way about me. It almost seemed like the feeling was mutual. Mutual. Ah, goddammit.
つまがさん続き読ませてくださいよ。今いいところなんですから。
She's still in my room reading manga in her dreams, huh? This scared me like that, jeez. Also, you're way too defenseless when you sleep like that. The way her pajamas hugged her body, accentuating the swell of her breasts and the curves of her waist. I'm glad I have the sexual contents disclaimer on my stream. Hang on. Yes, sexual themes. Oh wait, I almost forgot about the advice. Using all my willpower, I turned my attention back to the the notebook. If I didn't, I got the feeling I would have continued staring all night.
次のバイトの日早めに行くといいことあるかも
Oh. I wonder what's gonna happen if he shows up early. Is it gonna be a classic walk-in on them while they're changing scene? Something good. Reflexively, I looked back towards Aile's defenseless sleeping figure. Something good with the girl who was just on the verge of becoming my girlfriend. Crap, my heart's hammering like crazy.
つまがさん
Yeah?
今日は楽しかったです。
Yeah, me too. Aile smiled in her sleep, making my heart rate even faster. Something good. I wonder what that could be. Chest swelling with anticipation, I spread out my own futon and soon drifted off to sleep. Next day, after our final homeroom class, it was just about time to head home to go home. Hang on. First of all,
コンフィグですね。サウンド設定 B システム音声の設定がま
強越至極だよ。
there we go. Hey, Ale, why don't we go to work a bit earlier today? Standing up from my desk, I quickly went up to Ale and called out to her. Fortunately, both of us had a shift at the restaurant today. Since something good was supposed to happen if I showed up early, then we were obviously meant to go together. There's a high chance it had something to do with Ale after all.
はあ、まあ別にいいですけど。
Ale replied, looking a little surprised. She was probably wondering why today in particular. At least that's what I'd be wondering if I were her. And if she followed that train of thought then...
ひょっとして昨日ラブノートからそういう掲示を
Yeah. She's not just 2 brain cells. She has more. But since I didn't want her getting suspicious, I quickly added, I'm just feeling a little hungry, so I thought we could grab a small snack to eat before work. 3 brain cells.
まあなるほど、そういうことですか。しょうがない人ですね、つむぐさんも。お昼はうたちゃんの曖昧弁当をしっかり食べたはずなのに。
Maybe even 3.5 brain cells. Anticipating her thought process, I tried to come up with a more believable excuse. Thankfully, Al brought it hook, line, and sinker. Bought it. I added the R. Yes. I don't know if it was because she's always been stupidly honest or just naive. But, well, it was one of the things I'd rather liked about her. In any case, we decided to set off toward Fairy Tale together a little earlier than usual.
あ、そういえばつむぐさん。
What?
昨日は結局ラブノートに誰の名前を書いたんですか？
I screamed internally. Why'd she have to remember that right now of all times?
私寝落ちしちゃってましたけど、お風呂上がってから書いたんですよね、つむぐさん。
Well, yeah.
誰を書いたんです？教えてくださいよ。恋天使の私には知る権利があると思います。
I'll tell you about it later. Let's just get to work for now. I quickened my pace, cutting the conversation short. This wasn't the place to tell her. This wasn't the place to tell her it was her name I'd written after all. But then, when was the right time? You'll know when the right time
そんなに小
is.
腹空いてるんですか？それも小腹じゃなくて普通に腹ペコって言うんじゃないですか？
Good morning.
結局いつもより40分くらい早いですね。
That is really early. Then it's fine. It's just for today.
まあそうですけどね。そんなわけで店長さん、小腹が空いてるつむぐさんに。ってどうかしたんですか？ん？ああ、つむぐにエールか。なんだ、今日はずいぶん早いな。どうかしたのか？
That's what we should be asking you. You look like you were deep in thought about something there. She seemed to have been scowling at something in her hand. Kino-san had always seemed to me like a person who made snap decisions, so it was rather unusual for her to see her brooding like that. Curious, I looked at the thing she was holding. Are those tickets to an anime movie? This was rather unusual too. I looked up at her questioningly. Kinu-san nodded nonchalantly.
ああ、 今度うちのグループ全体がこのアニメとコラボキャンペーンを貼るんだ。
Oh,
ほほ
I heard a loud exclamation from the side.
ー、それは宣言の明がありますね。絶対ヒット間違いなしだと思いますし。うん、そうなのか。はい、何せつむぐさんの部屋にも原作が全巻揃ってるくらいですし。
Oh, what? Ale.
ほほー。まあ、なぜそれをエイルが知っているかは聞かないでおくとするか。
You don't need to know. Exposed, goddammit.
よくわかりませんが、ありがとうございます。
She is back to. She's back to three. She's back to 2 brain cells. You know, she got like 2 extra brain cells when she figured out that he probably wrote he wrote someone's name in the love note. But then, you know, they like collided in on each other and destroyed each other. There was an annihilation reaction in her brain, so now she's back to 2 brain cells. It really doesn't get the fact that she let slip something outrageous just now. Every other thought must jump right out of her head whenever the topic of manga comes up. Well, I suppose that's all part of her charm.
それじゃそのチケットはキャンペーンの一環ってことですか？ああ、その通りだ。本部からの支給でな。スタッフも見ておけということなのだろう。
I see. But then why were you looking so troubled about it?
それは簡単だ。こういうことだよ。
She waved the tickets in our faces.
取って見せろってことですか？私、じゃれついていいんでしょうか？
What are you, her pet cat?
確かに。どちらかというと、この作品の前では公式からの供給を待ち続ける中堅ですね。
I felt a twang of irritation, but chose to let it slide. Anyway, I take it you mean you're troubled because you have 2 tickets and don't know what to do with them.
ああ、その通り。全員分あればこんなに悩むことはなかったんだがな。
I suppose it would seem like preferential treatment if you were to invite only one of us along to go with you.
ああ、いや、私はこのアニメには興味がない。だからセットで誰にあげようかと悩んでいたんだ。
Ah, well, I know 2 people you could give it to. One is me, and the other is the person I wrote the person's name I wrote in the love note.
そういうことでしたら。
Ale immediately sprang to her feet and gave Kinu-san a vigorous bow.
ぜひとも私たちに、原作ファンである私たちにください。うん。それはエイルと紡でこの映画を見に行くということでいいのか？
Yeah.
もちろんです。ね、紡さん。
I mean, if you're okay with that.
私はいいに決まってるじゃないですか。むしろ紡さん以外と行くなんてありえませんよ。
Is that so? I knew she meant in this particular situation, obviously, but hearing that she made me, but hearing that still made me pathetically happy.
なるほどな。だったら先着順ということで、君たちに進呈するとしよう。
It's just that easy.
やったー！ありがとうございます。やりましたね、紡さん。
And she doesn't even realize it's a date. Yeah. I guess this means we're automatically going on another date then.
おはようございます。
Well, you're a bit late.
おはようございます。
So are you. Just then, the 2 members of our shift today came in. 2 final members.
聞いてくださいよ、マサラさん、クルルさん。いいなぁ。
Masaru's jealousy was evident after Ale told them about the tickets.
エアチケなんでしょ？だったらエールちゃんなんかじゃなくて僕と一緒に行こうよ、紡ぐ。
What? Why?
だってエールちゃんより僕と行った方が絶対楽しいよ。
It's not your route yet, Masora, okay? So, well, I can't deny that. You do seem like you'd have a blast with it.
ってわけで紡ぐ考え直し。まあまあ、今回は早い者勝ちってことですよ。
Kosaki-san interrupted, cutting between me and Masora.
だから気にせず、お二人で行ってきてください。佐久間先輩、小泉先輩。
Yeah, you're right. I felt like Kosaki-san knew more than she was letting on. But still, I appreciated her intervening on my behalf.
今日早く来てよかったですね。
Don't make it sound like it was your idea. I was the one who suggested it, you know.
細かいことはいい子なしです。じゃあ次のお休みの日によろしくお願いしますね。
And so, through a fortuitous series of coincidences, I was now going on a movie date with Ale. It's not a coincidence if it's written in the love note. But I suppose I should give credit where credit is due. This was all thanks to the love note's advice, after all. Feeling my heart flutter with how genuinely excited Ale seemed, I inwardly pressed my hands towards together in gratitude.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
The following Thursday, which was a national holiday,
いよいよですよ、つむぐさん。
Ale and I arrived at the movie theater. She had been in high spirits all morning.
おトイレは済ませましたか？では飲み物とポップコーン買いましょう。その前にまずパンフレットですかね。
Calm down. We still have some time before the movie starts.
落ち着いてなんかいられませんよ。ただであの名作の映画版見れるんですよ。いいえ、これはお金を払ってもいいくらいです。動くあのキャラたちが見られるんですから。
It's gonna be a shit movie.
もうワクワクしっぱなしです、私。つむぐさんは違うんですか？
Of course, my heart was beating pretty fast as well, but for a rather different reason. Ale hasn't said a single word about it yet. But anyway, you look at this. This is our second time on a date. A date at the theater, was standard fare, but I never thought I'd be doing it with Ale. What's more, she already seemed to be sparkling, with how much fun she was having. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Truth was, I really did feel that way about her. After all, Ale was undeniably cute. What guy wouldn't be thrilled to go on a movie date with her? It'd be weirder if my heart wasn't pounding. As I was inwardly making these excuses to myself, however.
俺はどうなんですか？ワクワクしてくれてないんですか？
I am. So for the time being, I tore my eyes away from her. Let's get some pamphlets first, then buy our drinks and popcorn. It's my treat today. It's our second date together. Though I obviously couldn't say that out loud. We got these tickets for free after all, so I don't mind spending a little bit. We sure do. In a lot of ways.
それじゃあ早速行きましょう。
Ale jumped enthusiastically, throwing her hands into the air. Uh-oh. I thought for sure she was going to dash off straight away toward the theater, but
行きましょう、つむぐさん。
she waited patiently beside me. The smile on her face, if it were the most natural thing, in the world.
どうしたんですか、つむぐさん。
It's... My heart was beating faster by the minute now. It's nothing. Come on, let's go.
よろしくお願いします。
Grinning happily, we made our way shoulder to shoulder into the movie theater. Approximately 2 hours later.
最高でしたね。
Ale exclaimed the moment we stepped out of the theater. Her satisfaction seemed immeasurable. In fact, she was downright ecstatic. Yeah, it was great. They covered exactly the parts from the original manga I was hoping they would. Yeah.
それでそこ欲しかったってところを見事に膨らましてくれてて。
She nearly tripped over her words when I expressed my agreement.
バトルシーンも予想以上のヌルヌル爽快感。そこに予想外の超絶クオリティの敵役掘り下げ。
A good adaptation, I could never. That's the most unrealistic part about this visual novel.
これが見たかったと、そうきたかの気持ちいいくらいのコラボレーションでしたよ。
I take it you really liked it. I couldn't help but smile wryly. As a fan of the original manga myself, I enjoyed the movie for what it was too, but right now I was having even more fun seeing just how happy Ale was. I also felt a sense of relief. Our last movie date had sort of ended in failure, but this time she seemed to be wholeheartedly having a blast.
そりゃそうですよ。
Ale beamed, nearly jumping with joy.
映画自体超楽しかったですし、ポップコーンもはちゃめちゃ美味しかったですし。
Was it? I thought it was pretty average, to be honest.
私初めて食べたんですもん。感激しちゃいましたよ。感動ものでしたよ。
Is that so? I suppose we hadn't gotten any snacks on our last date. Perhaps the popcorn was another reason she looked so satisfied this time around.
改めてコーラとセットで買ってくださってありがとうございました、つむぐさん。
I know already said this. Well, you know what they say. It's not a movie without popcorn.
というかそもそもこうして一緒に映画を見てくださってありがとうございました。
You don't need to thank me for that. That's the whole reason Kuno-san gave us these tickets anyway.
それくらい嬉しくて楽しくて幸せな日だったってことです。分かってくださいよ。
I get it. This was unlike any other day you've had during your time as an angel, right?
そういうことです。分かってもらえるとなお嬉しいですね。
She perked right up again. Come to think of it, I don't think Ale ever had a normal date out like this before. Unlike our previous date, we were simply hanging out with no ulterior motives. Simply two classmates sharing their day off together. And yet, she was this happy about it. Once again, I couldn't help but feel glad I decided to come with her. On that note, say Ale, aren't you forgetting something important?
なんですか？これ以上何があるって言うんです？
Lots, after all. The day's not over yet, you know. So what do you want to do next?
そんなこの嬉しさや楽しさがまだ続くって言うんですか？まだあるんですか？
What are you thinking?
いいんでしょうか、そんなまるで夢みたいな一日があって。
How much money am we gonna have to spend today? This isn't a dream, it's normal for a date like today at least. I'll tag along with whatever you want to do today, so just say the word.
つむぐさん、ありがとうございます。それではお 言葉に甘えて。そうですね、そうですね。
Don't say crepes. As though unable to contain herself, Ale broke into a wide smile and looked around the area. I couldn't help but smile as well as I waited for her to speak. Looks like I ended up being victim to her cuteness after all. Once I became aware of it, it was already too late. And if I was being honest with myself, I'm the one who doesn't want today to end just yet. I told Ale I'd tag along, but the truth was I wanted this too.
そうですつむぐさん。
While I was lost in thought, Ale suddenly shouted aloud as she was struck by an idea. Hearing the excitement in her voice was enough to make me chuckle before she even said anything. Well, what is it?
はい、実はですね、前々から気になってたんですよ。
Don't say the theme park. Alright, sure, where is it?
あのお城って何なんでしょう。
Oh. As I looked in the direction Ale pointed, I immediately fell silent when my eyes landed on the building she was talking about. After all, what she was pointing at was a Western-style castle you might see in an amusement park. Which was, in reality, a love hotel. Right.
気になります。気になりますよね、つむぐさん。なのでもしよろしければこの後ぜひ行ってみませんかというチラチラ。
Don't wink, that implies you know what the castle is.
つむぐさん。
Oh, sorry, truth be told, last night I'd used the love note again, and when I did, the advice it gave me was enter the castle. Naturally, I had no idea what it meant at the time, but now, to think it had been talking about the love hotel. Alright, well, I guess you gotta enter. I felt like shaking my head in disbelief. Well, if you're really that curious about it.
はい、気になりまくりんぐです。すごいですよね。お城ですよ、お城。テーマパークか何かですかね。中には入れるんですかね。
In other words, Elle had absolutely no idea what kind of facility it actually was. But she was curious about it. She wanted to check it out, and if possible, she wanted to go inside. With me. Plus, the love note had suggested I do this very thing. Ale. I made up my mind and threw caution to the wind. Let's go! A short while later, you know, just don't act like you knew what the castle was before you enter. When we entered the room, Ale spun around, oohing and eyeing at everything she saw.
すごいすごい、本当にホテルです。豪華なベッドがドーン。外装がお城で休憩もできるホテルだなんて、なんだかおしゃれですね。
Yeah, it's just a hotel. There was definitely nothing suspicious at the reception area. Like, I don't know, that the receptionists don't have their face showing, or like there's a certain vending machine outside in the lobby that dispenses condoms. Nothing like that. Yeah. On the other hand, I was naturally having a hard time keeping my cool. In fact, my heart's been racing this whole time. I mean, we'd actually gone inside together, even though I was going with the flow. Even though she had no idea what this place was. I was actually in a love hotel with the girl I liked.
とりあえずベッドにダイブと。
Now do it.
ふかふかのふかです。つむぐ
and with the way the girl in question was frolicking around like a child, I was feeling guiltier and guiltier by the minute. What am I gonna do then? Just feign ignorance, as they say. You know, just act like you didn't know. I'd made up my mind for, to go for broke, but with Ale acting like this, I couldn't bring myself to go any further. First of all, we're not even that intimate yet. But at the same time, we'd found ourselves together inside a love hotel. It'd feel like a huge missed opportunity if I didn't make a move. Maybe I should come clean and explain to Ale what this place really is after all. As I was debating this, however... Uh-oh. She's gonna find out. Ale suddenly said innocently. Uh-oh. Before I could say anything, Al switched on the television. The LCD immediately flicked to life and... Ellen instantly froze, her breath catching in her throat. I didn't blame her. This was probably the first time she'd ever seen seen an actual hardcore sex scene. Her face turned beet red as she punched the remote again and again, trying to switch channels, but... I'm glad I have the sexual thieves tag. Well, you see, I hesitated for a moment. But now that we've come this far, I made up my mind and pressed forward. That's because this is a love hotel. Jesus. The cat was finally out of the bag. There was no going back now. And I heard that, that was how things work here. But this is the first time I've ever actually been in one myself. Well, since we're already here and all, why don't we just let it play? I mean, it's the sort of place this is after all. Perhaps she'd finally grasp the situation at hand. Her ears turned bright red and she began to sweat bullets. However... she's just agreeing. I wasn't expecting that. I thought she was going to suggest we leave immediately. But instead, she hunched her shoulders, squirming nervously, and said, She smiled earnestly, trying her best to stay as cheerful as possible, trying to hide her panic and embarrassment. In other words, right, yeah. She would do anything to keep things from getting awkward between us. The realization hit me like a bolt of lightning. It was too late now. I couldn't stop my heart from pounding. My feelings for Ale was swelling beyond my beyond of control. Yep. Beyond my control. Or you could just... Ale.
はい。
She replied meekly. There really was no stopping myself anymore. It was nothing. It was all or nothing now. Actually, this feels like destiny to me right now. Both of us getting those tickets to the movie, going to see it together, hanging out together. And even though you didn't know what this place was, we even somehow ended up here together.
私は最初から知ってましたよ。ここがラブホテルなことくらい。
I'm sure you did. Then I'm understanding this correctly, right?
どういうことですか?
You knew this was a love hotel but wanted to come here with me anyway.
いや、それは。
To be honest, I'd gotten my hopes up at first too. After all, I have feelings for you. AL, I think the one I've been looking for is you.
そういえばつむぐさん。結局聞きそびれてましたけど、先日ノートには一体誰の名前を書い。
Yeah, it was yours, Ale. It said our fatedness was 72.
それは。
I used the notebook yesterday too. It told me to enter the castle. But what was the fatedness? And here we are, you and me inside the castle. I'm sorry, but I can't hold back anymore.
何を。
Oh! I love you. I love you, Ale.
いや、つむぐさん。
You're not running away after all.
だって。
Ale.
つむぐさん。
Finally, I pushed her down onto the bed. And as I had expected, she didn't try to resist. And then they had sex for 5 hours straight. Stop clicking at me like that, Ale. Even while we were cleaning ourselves up in the shower, she'd been like this the whole time.
嫌です。それこそもうダメですもん、私。ダメにされちゃいましたもん。女にしてもらっちゃいましたもん。
Ale.
だから離れられないです。時間いっぱいこうしていたいです。
I feel the same way.
だったらなんでくっつくななんて言うんですか?
Honestly, it's because you feel so soft it's almost making me hard again.
いいですよ。私は何度でも。だってもう経験しちゃいましたし。
I mean, I'm really happy to hear that, but I think that's enough for today.
なんでですか? 我慢できちゃうレベルってこと。
You might have forgotten about it while we were doing it, but now that we've calmed down a bit, the pain's starting to come back, isn't it?
それは。でももっとしたいならお気になさらず。
I don't want to hurt you more than I already have. I want to cherish you because I love you and I'm serious about you. I know this was a really cheesy thing that was a really cheesy thing to say.
いえ。なんと言いますか。キュワーってきました。キュワーって。だからこう。まあ、 つまり紡さんの得意技、私に特攻効果のある殺し文句ですよ。エッチの最中にもたくさん言ってくださいましたよね。
Right. Well, that just sort of came out, you know.
そんなことないですよ。もう最高でしたよ。
And we will never know what lines he said.
だから、つむぐしゃん、つむぐしゃん、スリスリ。
Stop doing that. I tried but failed. Hang on. God damn it. Uh-oh. Stop doing that. I tried but failed to say. After all, she'd looked so blissful ever since we had sex, and moreover, she's absolutely head over heels for me now. Realization sent tingles running down my spine. I couldn't bring myself to say no to her now, let alone peel her off me.
嬉しい。また私たち一つになってるみたいです。
In fact, I wanted to hug her too. I pulled her soft body into my arms, embracing her tightly. As I did so, Ale breathed hotly, letting out a dreamy whisper. But that wasn't all.
つむぐさん、私は恋天使だから、本当は人と恋はできないのに、あなたにこんな情熱的に抱いていただいたら、もうダメです。
Ale.
はい、つむぐさんと一緒でもうダメです。止まれるわけはありません。あなたが好きです。
There it is. Ale, I love you too.
苦しいですよ、つむぐさん。
I couldn't stop myself from hugging her either. After all, this was the first time she had clearly and unambiguously announced her feelings for me. You don't know how happy that makes me. I love you too, Ale. I love you too.
つむぐさん。
And so I hugged her even tighter, declaring my feelings for her as well. As I thought, she trembled like a small bird in my arms. Then she buried her face into my chest, nuzzling her forehead against me.
だったらもう私たちいっそのこと。
Unable to finish her sentence, her murmuring trailed off into an embarrassed sigh. Strangely enough, though, I knew exactly how she felt, and exactly what she was going to say. And so I finished her words for her instead. Yeah, you're right. Let's do it! No, let me rephrase that. I feel the same way, so let me be the one to say it. I hold her up in my arms. Holding her up in my arms, I met my gaze with hers. Ale, I want you to be my girlfriend. And I want you to be proud of the fact that you wanted to.
つむぐさん。
What do you say?
喜んで。
And so the day inside that cautious castle-like building. Curious. Ale and I became lovers at last, as though we were fated to do so all along. That evening, waiting for the right time, I made my way home. I'd even asked Ale to head back first earlier, and so naturally I was alone when I arrived. As for why we had to head home separately, despite being so inseparable up until we left the hotel,
おかえりなさい、兄さ
we still have to hide our relationship for Uta. Well, you guessed it.
ん。ずいぶん遅かったですね。今日は一体どこまで行っていたんですか？
As Uta narrowed her eyes and examined my face, I thrust out the box I was holding in my hands. Just down to the station. Here, I got you a souvenir.
エリゼのプリン。
You're always the one buying stuff to bring home to me, so I thought I'd return the favor every once in a while. It was a little embarrassing going into the shop by myself, though, seeing as I'm a guy. Still, I'm glad that,
兄さん。私が可愛い妹とはいえ、わざわざそんなお気遣いを。
still, I'm glad they had your favorite. This was the only way I could think it to divert her suspicions, after all. And it looked like I was right. With this, Uta wasn't likely to ask why I'd sent Ale home first either.
ですが、駅前まで行った程度でこんな遅くなるというのは、いくらなんでもおかしいのでは？
Damn it, she still won't let that go.
むしろこうやってプリンでごまかそうとしてるあたり、逆にいろいろ勘ぐってしまいます。
She's just too smart. God damn it.
そう。例えば、私という妹がいながら彼女的な存在ができたのでは、などと。
The 18 plus patch is in Neko Neon, I believe, right? Yes. Not only was she not fooled, she's more suspicious than ever. But even so, I couldn't let myself crumble under her interrogation and let something slip. I mean, I don't think I can keep things a secret forever. But still, this doesn't feel like the right time to reveal my relationship with Ale, especially not to Uta.
そのあたりどうなんでしょう、兄さん。妹はこのプリン素直に喜んで食べられるんでしょうか？
Of course it is, and as proof,
はい。
we'll open the box and take a look inside.
はあ。では遠慮なく。これは恋人の聖地と言われる産地の果物で作った希少な幻のプリン。
Yes? I was thinking we should eat this sort of thing together.
はい兄さん、喜んで。早速支度をしますね。お茶とか。まったくもう兄さんたら、私のことが本当に大事なんですから。
Bro, why does this feel like cheating even though I'm not even on her route? Just why do I feel like I'm cheating on Uta even though I'm doing someone else's route? Of course I do. Thank God I had this ace up my sleeve prepared. Secretly feeling relieved after, while inwardly apologizing to Ale at the same time, I followed Uta into the dining room to eat our pudding. Phew, good grief. At the time I finally returned to my room, the sun had completely set. Naturally, I had kept her waiting for a while now, but...
つむぐさん、おかえりなさい。
Ale didn't seem put out at all. Instead, her face lit up when she saw me enter. And that's not all.
つむぐさん、聞いてもらえますか？
I am worried what she's gonna say. What is it?
先に帰ってからつむぐさんを待ってる間、私、漫画も手につかなかったんです。
What did you do, Ale? She murmured softly and leaned, as she leaned her cheek against my chest, smiling giddily.
ずっとドキドキしっぱなしで、ホテルでのこと噛みしめてばっかりで、
Uh-huh.
私つむぐさんの彼女なんだって嬉しくて嬉しくて、もう
I see. She was just too adorable. Unable to stand it any longer, I pulled her soft body into a close embrace.
そんなに抱きしめてもらったら私苦しいですよ、つむぐさ
Oh, shut up. It's your fault for being so cute.
ん。また殺し文句です。私のハート改めて打ち抜かれちゃいました。つむぐさんだって素敵です。私が期待してた通りに抱きしめてくださって。
A hug wasn't the only thing you were hoping for, though, was it?
見抜かれちゃいました。はい、私このまままたホテルでしたみたいにイチャイチャするのも。
Well, you're not the only one, so hearing that already makes me insanely happy.
じゃあしてくださるんですね、イチャイチャ。
That's what I should be asking you. I want to make it, I want to make it to sink in more, the fact that you're my girlfriend now. Right.
はい、つむぐさん、いっぱい噛みしめてください。私もうつむぐさんに女にしてもらった全身で愛情表現しちゃうんですから。
Ale.
ちゅんぐしゅ。
Holding each other tight, we pressed our bodies together and our lips as well. Then we fell into the bed together, completely forgetting for a moment how long we'd been separated.
嬉しい。やっぱり夢じゃなかったんです、昼のこと。
Of course not. What, were you doubting it?
そういうわけじゃないですけど、そう言ったらつむぐさんもっと構ってくださるかなって待ってたんですからね、帰りを。
You're right. I'm sorry for making you wait, but I'll make it up for it right now.
はい、お願いします。ですよね、そうですよね、なんせ。
We're already lovers.
はい。私今めちゃめちゃ言わせちゃいましたね、殺し文句。
And it's only fair that you say some too.
だからそんな抱きしめたら苦しいですってば。
You won't say it?
言ったら終わっちゃいませんか？
We'll see.
私もう身も心もあなたのものです。
Mine too, Ale.
つむぐさん。
Unable to help myself, I squeezed her tight, causing her to gasp and moan sweetly. Her reactions and the feelings of her body only fired me up even more, prompting me to hug her even tighter.
私が
Ale whispered in a voice that was nearly hoarse from excitement.
私があなたの運命の相手だったなんて本当幸せすぎますよ。
Uh, Hearing her say that moved me so much I nearly began choking up.
だから紡さん、その今日はこのままもっと一緒に。
You got it, but fair warning. I'm really not going to let you go.
私だってもう離れるつもりはないですよ。これが女の幸せなんだって今鼓動のたびに思い知ってるところなんですから。
And so, while not as intense as our lovemaking earlier, we spent the night blissfully cuddled together. Kissing each other over and over, listening to our heartbeats overlap.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
Ale.
つむぐしゃー。
Ow! My eyes flew open from the shock of falling out of bed. Though, wait, I didn't just fall. It was you! Due to a terrible sleeping posture as usual, it would appear Ale had kicked me off the bed. However,
つむぐしゃー。
out of bed. I couldn't bring myself to get angry. In fact, I felt a smile tugging at my lips, and a feeling of happiness welling up in my chest. After all, even though she'd literally kicked me out of bed, we'd gone to sleep together last night and cuddled until morning. That's why even though my back hurt from hitting the floor, I couldn't help but grin. And as I was reminiscing, however,
つむぐさん、
awake are you? Good morning.
おはようございます。
Why do you look so bummed out? Bummed out about first thing in the morning?
だって昨日はつむぐさんと一緒に寝たはずなのに。
Well, it's not my fault. You're the one who kicked me
ベッドから
out.
出ちゃってるんですもん。起きた時もつむぐさんのこと感じてたかったですよ。
Maybe, you know, there's an easy fix for this. Just don't sleep on the outside of the bed. You know, if Tsumugu slept on the closer to the wall, then Ale would be the one who falls out of bed. Oh well. Ale, my heart skipped a beat at her words, but
私もそのつむぐさんの虜ですから。なんてなんて。
you realize you're the one who kicked me out of bed, you know.
あれ
Still though, I lowered myself down onto the bed again and softly stroked Ale's warm cheek.
つむぐさん、
Thank you for saying that. It made me really happy to hear. I'm already head over heels for you too, Ale.
殺し文句です。また殺し文句です。つむぐさん。
Looking deeply moved, she throws her arms around me just like last night. Then she whispered,
大好きです。
I love you too. I hugged her back, a wide smile spreading across my face. Do me a favor and try not to touch my back too much though.
なんでです？むしろ力いっぱいギューってしたいところなんですけど。
Because I slammed onto the floor when you kicked me off the bed.
まさかの無意識にラブラブ行為の芽を摘んでいた私。
Yes.
そうじゃなくて、ごめんなさいごめんなさい、そんなつもりは。
Well, I suppose I'm gonna have to get used to this sort of thing from now on.
それって。
I want to keep sleeping with you from now on after all. You don't want to?
いや、そんなことはないっしゅけど。つむぐさってこういう仲になると意外とはっきりそういうことを言う人だったんですね。私ドキドキさせられっぱなしですよ。殺し文句にハートを打ち抜かれっぱなしですよ。
I could say the same for her. It was only because she stated her feelings for me so clearly that I felt like doing the same. I guess the two of us really were made for each other. As the thought naturally crossed my mind, I couldn't help but break into another smile. And so...
あ、おはようつむぐ、エールちゃん。おはようございます。
Morning, Masora. I want you to know I appreciate you. Perhaps because I wasn't extra high spirits today. For some reason, I felt compelled to express my gratitude toward Masora.
おう、うん。ふん。つむぐ。
Uh-huh. He sidled up toward me as I stepped away from Ale to take my seat. Hmm? What?
なんだか心に余裕があるっていうか、幸せそうな感じじゃない。
No! Do I? I answered, feeling somewhat embarrassed. He had said the exact thing I had been thinking, exact same thing I had been thinking myself.
うん、昔のつむぐに戻ったみたい。
Well, but I didn't expect to say that as well. My old self? You mean when I was still in the track club?
うん、毎日一生懸命だった頃。
I see. He wasn't wrong. Back then I threw myself into my club activities like it was the only thing I had. That's why when I had to quit due to my injury, I had honestly felt as though the light had gone from my life. But now...
何ですか？ほう？ひょっとしてエールちゃんのおかげって言いたいの？
No!
私ですか？何の話です？つむぐがなんだか幸せそうな理由。
Well, truth be told, my world's gotten a lot brighter ever since Ale came into it.
またそういうことを私が油断してる時にさらっと。
They're just not they aren't even trying to hide it.
ありゃりゃ、
She left.
切れちゃって。でも確かにエールちゃんの言う通り、なんかすごいことをさらっと口にしてくれちゃいましたね、つむぐさん。
Well, I'll probably tell you the reason why soon enough. No, he knows.
ほうほう。じゃあ楽しみにしてよっと。
He should know. He probably knows. Even after class began, Ale refused to meet my gaze for a while. With no other choice, I sent a message on Rhyme. Sorry about hinting at our relationship like that earlier. We'll go public with it once you feel the time is right. It took some time for her to respond, but...
そうしてもらえると助かります。
Eventually, she finally did. And what's more...
お気遣いありがとうございます。
She even added a thank you at the end. Naturally, I had to respond as well. I told you, remember? I want to cherish you. I can see her ale turning beet red in her seat.
タイムデマで殺し文句はやめてくださいよ。
It wasn't supposed to be.
私にとってはつむぐさんのそういう言葉が全部殺し文句みたいなものですってば。
Should I just not talk to you at all then?
それはダメです。切なくて死んじゃいます。
I love you, Ale.
ですから
She looked all flustered for a minute, but a few seconds later,
私もです。
a smile spread involuntarily across my face. This sort of thing was nice. Looks like we can't stop floating around in class either.
本当ですよ。
Yeah, that sounds exactly like when we did Uta's route. At last, Ale turned to look toward me. Though her cheeks were flushed, she had a giant smile on her face. My heart fluttered at the sight. Then at lunch.
目上の方にわざわざお越しいただいてしまってすみません。
As Kosaki-san's request, we met up on the school roof. No, it's okay. I'm the one who should apologize. You want to know what happened yesterday, right? She'd had a hunch something was going on ever since Ale and I had been given those tickets to the movies. So it was only natural that she'd been curious about what happened afterwards.
はい、やはり事情を知っている身としましては、その上でまさか佐久間先輩が本命を小泉先輩に思い定めたみたいだったのが意外で。
Is it that surprising?
はい、だってお二人はむしろ秘密を共有する同志のようなご関係だと思っていましたし。
Were you disappointed that we went to go see the movie together yesterday then?
そんなことはありません。むしろ興味津々です。
She leaned forward, keenly grasping both my hands.
同志のようだったお二人がとあるイベントをきっかけに互いの見方が変わる。そうして始まる何かあると思います。いいと思います。それで先輩、実際のところはどうだったんですか？
Probably shouldn't. As usual, this girl got incredibly fired up when it came to things that interested her. No way. Still, that suited me just fine today.
もし進展があって、そして差し支えなければどのあたりまで行かれたかを参考までに伺いたく。
Alright, well, I'll cut right to the chase.
はい、お願いします。
We had sex. That's essentially what he said. The truth is, we successfully went all the way.
なるほど、素晴らしい。最後まで。
あ
最後まで？
Oh. To put it bluntly, we had our first experience together.
展開すぎますよ。もっと段階踏んでください。段階。
Yeah, but that's normal couple shit. You know, usually don't do it after the second date, but like, they went to the love hotel. She looked flustered, blushing red in the face. I agree, but it just sort of happened naturally, you know. At least between me and Ale, things didn't feel forced or rushed at all.
それは想像ですが、佐久間先輩と小泉先輩は前々からお互いにそういう関係を意識されて。
Still blushing, Kosaki-san was just about to say something when suddenly, something else went suddenly. Hey, what are you doing here? What? Someone was eavesdropping?
ごめんなさいね。通りがかったらなんとなく聞こえてきちゃって。
Uh-huh. And that person turned out to be Minakoshi-sensei, no less. What was going on? Before I could say anything, however.
それより、ね、
No!
本当なの？
Even Minakoshi-sensei leaned forward intently.
何がでしょう。佐久間くんと小泉さんがお付き合いを始めたっていうのは。
Oh, yeah.
と言いますか先生、どこから聞いてらしたんですか？初体験を済ませたあたりからかしら。
Crap, that was the last thing I wanted her to hear. For a moment I panicked, but...
すっごく素敵ね。もうそんなところまで進んでるなんて。
Huh?
そう。二人はもうそこまで行ってるなんて。驚いちゃったけど。
Okay. This is just making me want to do Minakoshi Sensei's route next even more.
ひょっとしてものすごく喜んでらっしゃいます？
Right? That wasn't the reaction I was expecting at all. But why? Normally, you'd think she would reprimand me being my teacher and all.
なぜなんでしょう。気になりますね。まあまあ、そこは気にせず。とにかく、佐久間くん？
Don't look at me like that. Yes?
じゃない。小泉さんのこと、これからもよろしくね。大事にしてあげてね。
Don't worry. She lives with me. I mean, right. Why would Minakoshi-sensei say something like that? I mean, I much prefer being congratulated rather than scolded, but...
と言いますか。それじゃあ、先生はこれで。
That was weird.
謎ですね。でもまあ、先生のおっしゃる通りです。
Don't tell me that Minakoshi-sensei's an angel as well. Osaki-san's expression suddenly changed.
クルル的にもお願いします。小泉先輩のこと大事にして差し上げてください。今まで通りできる限り応援やフォローなどさせてもらいますので。
Thanks. Either way, I was grateful to both Minakoshi-sensei and Kosaki-san. At work after school. Ale and I had the same shift today, however...
つむぐさん、つむぐさん。
Uh-huh. As we both finished getting changed into our uniforms, Ale came over to me and whispered in my ear.
タイムで話してた通り、付き合い始めたのを公開するのはまだちょっと待ってくださいね。
This is gonna become like the worst kept secret or kind of thing. Sure, don't worry. I'm not gonna hint at it any more than I already have. Personally, I was more than happy to tell the whole world about it. But if this was how Ale felt, I had to respect her wishes. That said, I did kind of already tell Kosaki-san and Minakoshi-sensei. Look, I told Kosaki-san, Minakoshi-sensei found out herself. I didn't say shit to her. Alright? I didn't say anything. She invaded my space, alright? I'll keep quiet about that for now, though. Those two aren't the type to go spilling secrets anyway.
特に絹さんとマソラさんには何を言われるか分かったものじゃないですし。
Yeah, they're definitely the kind of people who would tease it. Who would tease you for it. Yeah, that's true. I could already imagine them teasing the hell out of us. What did I just say? Especially after what I said to Masora this morning. But for the time being, they shouldn't suspect anything as long as we got to work normally. And at the very least, I didn't have to worry about Ale letting anything slip. Or so I thought. What did I say? As we were working on the dinner floor, we were passing by one another when our shoulders suddenly brushed against each other. When this happened, she jumped noticeably, blushing hard and hunching over.
何どうしたのって真っ赤じゃん。
I think she's just sick.
いや、これはただ紡ぐと肩が軽く触れただけに見えたが。
Worst kept secret.
それだけでこんなに赤くなります？実際に赤くなっている。雨津さえうずくまっている。その理由として考えられるのは。
Uh-oh. This was bad.
ズバリ。ホイミ先輩、体調が悪いの
Yeah,
では。
she's just sick. Thankfully, Kosaki-san came to the rescue. I expected nothing less from her. Oh, I hadn't mentioned that we wanted to keep things a secret for now. She seemed to have guessed it herself. I mean, Kosaki's probably the smartest character in this game. At like an unusually high level. Damn it. Why'd you answer honestly? Take the hint, will you? Kosaki-san can't save you from stupidity. Kosaki-san can't save your airheadedness. Guess there's nothing for it. I'll have to step in. But just at that moment.
自覚症状がない場合もあるよ。念のため休憩室で体温を測ってきた方がいい。
Thank God, Andrew. He was working today, so.
はい、そうさせてもらいます。
I wasn't expecting Ushiro-senpai to come to the rescue as well. At any rate, Ale quickly departed for the break room, managing to escape the situation for the time being. Aju was with the carry and save. I just hope she doesn't repeat the same mistake when she gets back. Aju tried his best. It's not working out. She was doing it again.
これはもう
Worst kept secret.
明らかに。
Aju, I mean, Aju even figured it out. At this point, there was almost no use denying it anymore.
違うんです別に私は。
Yeah.
正直に言え。何をでしょうか。ただ恥ずかしいだけならば仕方がない。だがもし何かつまらん理由があって隠そうとしているのなら私は怒る。
I don't know. I think she has a valid reason for hiding it from Kinu and Masora.
実際仕事に支障もきたしているしな。念のためにお伺いしますけど。なんだ？何かつまらん理由って。 私たちがからかったり冷やかしたりするんじゃないかと思っているのならだ。
Ao's eyes widened and she blushed once more when she heard Kino-san's words.
ごめんなさい。実は先日からつむぐさんとお付き合いしています。
After apologizing loudly, she then confessed the truth in a very timid voice. Don't say anything else after that. Just keep it at that. Don't need to add anything else, okay? Then
そうか。それはいい。おめでとう。
thank God.
うわー、すごいじゃん。よかったね。おめでとう。
As long as she doesn't mention the love hotel.
キヌさん、マソラさん。
Ao's eyes grew moist with emotion. I didn't blame her. They'd reacted exactly the opposite of how she'd expected. Instead warmly congratulating her with heartfelt joy.
これはとても素敵なことだね。
Shut up, Arju. You knew.
後ろさんも
You knew from the start. I was rather taken aback at this. I never expected Ushiro-senpai to congratulate us with a smile on his face as well. At this time, I'd been secretly and apparently one-sidedly thinking of him as a romantic rival, but I mean, yeah, it's literally like Kiba from High School DxD. I guess that wasn't the case after all. But then how come he's been acting so overly familiar with Ale? I still feel a little puzzled, but
頑張るんだよ、エイル君。
seeing as how happy he was for us, it seemed I had the wrong idea about him. And so I apologized to him internally. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. And so everyone at work ended up being overwhelmingly supportive of our relationship. I hope this meant we'd be able to share the news with our class too soon. You don't need to do that.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
The days passed by like this, and before we knew it, it was already Golden Week. Alright, I think that's a good place to end it.